All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Sales Ki Pathshala. The topic we are covering today is customer experience. Very important to understand that in today's very competitive market, it is the customer experience which is actually the main differentiator between various brands. So once you become a top quality brand, you will find that there are many other top quality brands which share your goodness, which share all the great benefits that you have to provide to your customer. And this is the time when customer experience becomes the only differentiator. So you would appreciate the importance of today's program, today's title. So let's straight away dive into the program and move to understand what exactly is customer experience. Now, for those of you who feel that customer experience is a kind of destination where we need to arrive together, I would like to tell you that customer experience is not a destination, it's actually a journey. Now, the moot question here is, when does this journey start? And when does this journey end? If as a marketeer, you are very clear as to when exactly does this journey start and when the journey ends, I think you would have understood the entire ethos of customer experience. So let's quickly move to understand that this journey of customer experience can broadly be divided into three sections. And I would like to name them here on the screen as A, B, and C. The A part of customer experience is also called the discovery of the customer. And since it refers to the discovery quotient of a customer, I also call it DX. That is discovery experience of the customer. The B part of the customer journey is also called invent part of the customer journey, and we call this customer experience. And the C part of the customer journey is called the user experience or UX. So all in all, it is DX plus CX plus UX, which taken together makes this complete journey of customer experience. So you will find that the A part of the journey actually starts when the customer is trying to discover his product. He doesn't even know about you by this time. He just knows about his needs. The customer just knows about his needs, and he's trying to discover whatever product or whatever brand matches his needs in the market. And that's why we call it the discovery experience. If you have understood A plus B plus C equal to the entire customer experience journey, I'm sure you're excited to know what exactly is DX first. We follow it up with CX and UX. Now, DX starts with, do you treat prospects as if they were your customers? You know, most of us start recognizing a customer only once they have billed with us. I would say that that is the first sin or the first crime that you would have committed in your journey of customer experience. So the day a prospect comes into the market, discovering for the product that you make or discovering for the services that you provide, the DX has started. So here you need to understand that DX starts with invisible prospects, and the three E's that you see on the screen together will help you create a lovely DX experience for your clients. So this 3E is a sum total of excitement, enrollment, and engagement. Let's quickly understand what I mean by this. So excitement is, what is the excitement shown by your brand when a prospect asks for your product category? You see, I have not said when the prospect asks for your product. When the prospect asks for your product category, what is the excitement that you or your salesperson on the shop floor shows? So if there is a prospect in the market hunting around for a television, or there's a prospect in the market hunting around for a car, He has not yet decided which television or which car, but then how does your sales team show an excitement towards entertaining the prospect is the first discovery experience that starts. Moving on is the enrollment stage where you say, how do you enroll a prospect into your selling process? So once the prospect comes to you, how do you show a demo? Then how do you do a follow-up? Are you too cheesy? Are you too pushy? Or are you giving an experience which the customer loves to undergo? And then, of course, followed by engagement. So how do you follow up with your sales pipeline till they close with you or without you? That's very important to understand, with you or without you. Either ways, how do you engage your customers, whether they are with you or whether they are lost customers? So these three words, ladies and gentlemen, are treasures in themselves: excitement, enrollment, and engagement program through which you cater to the DX quotient of your customer experience. Fantastic. Let's move it further to the CX portion, which is customer experience portion. And if you look at the screen, once you have sold or once you have invoiced or billed to a particular customer, your CX journey starts. So your DX journey ends, your CX journey starts, and your customer experience journey is a sum total of 6 elements which you see on the screen. So enjoyment. How much does your customer enjoy when he's dealing with you? Belonging. So how much does your customer feel attached or owns or belongingness to your brand? Certainty. So what is the kind of certainty that your customer has when he comes looking for your product category in a particular market? You know, it's like you can go at any time of the day to a Pizza Hut and you'll get a hot pizza to be served to you. That's an element of certainty which gives a customer experience of certainty. I hope you connect with that. So in the same sense of the term, you have 24/7 call center where even if the shops have closed, the service provider is able to provide the customer experience. And taking it further, the fourth element of customer experience is fair treatment. And I would elaborate further on that as we move forward, because this is very important. Control. How much control does your customer have in buying your product category? And now this is typically, to explain it further, if you go to a mall, customers are wary of giving their credit card passwords to the kiosks vendor. So when the kiosk vendor wants to give control to you, he actually faces the card swiping machine at the POS terminal towards you, where you have total security and secrecy in swiping your credit card. That's the kind of control we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And what kind of status, what kind of lifestyle is attached to you when you are shopping with a particular brand? So if you're carrying a purse from Hermes, your status goes up, isn't it? So that also adds to your customer experience. So all in all, enjoyment, belonging, certainty, fair treatment, control, and status, 6 elements taken together, you are providing great customer experience. So the journey is not yet over. We have just done DX plus CX, right? So let's quickly understand the finer nuances of customer experience on the screen for you. On the x-axis, I've tried to plot immersion, which is what is the level of absorption of the customer into your experience fabric, and on the y-axis, participation. Now, when the immersion levels are very high and the participation levels are very high, you get to the green box, which is educational. So you're trying to give an educational experience to the customer. When the immersion levels are low, but yet the participation levels are very high, you're trying to give entertainment experience to the customer. When the immersion levels are high, but the participation levels are very low, we say that the customer is in the escapist box. So he's going to escape out of your clutches and he's going to go to your competitor. So aesthetic escapist, educational, and entertainment are the 4 boxes on which you can actually arrange all the customer based on their levels of customer experience with you. Taking it further, if you look at this customer engagement model on the screen, you would see that there are 4 primary drivers which actually leads to customer loyalty. So customer loyalty is one of the outcomes of a customer engagement model. And if you look at the primary drivers, which is interest, experience, evaluation, and immersion. So of course, when the customer is interested, then he buys your product. And once he buys the product, his customer experience starts. So if you look at this second semicircular arrow here, this is the point where the customer has decided to buy your product. So typically the first semicircle is your DX, which is the discovery experience. The second semicircle is your CX, which is the customer experience or invent experience. And the third semicircle and the fourth semicircle together will give you the UX experience, which we are shortly going to talk about. So DX plus CX plus UX would give you customer loyalty. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will find some very interesting secondary drivers which actually drive customer experience at each stage. So if you look at the CX curve, you have peace of mind, customer effort, and moments of truth. For those of you who do not really understand what is moment of truth, I have created a separate video on that. And I would implore you that please go and check out the moment of truth video that I have made earlier. For those of customers who get into the evaluation mode, trust, satisfaction, affection, and obligation. And then on the immersion band, you have enthusiasm, enjoyment, attention, learning, absorption, sharing, and endorsement. That taken together is what creates a preference in the minds of the customer. And that's what increases the index of feeling, impulses, and action. So this is not a Scrabble book where I'm trying to play multiple English words with you. I'm basically trying to spread the fabric of customer experience and break it into multiple steps where you understand the customer experience exactly. The third driver for you is UX, and UX stands for user experience. If you recall earlier, I had said that customer experience is a journey which starts from DX, moves on to CX, and ends on UX, right? Now, user experience is something which is driven by these 7 concepts. So how useful is the user interface? How usable is the user interface? How much easily findable is the user interface? How credible, how much of credibility you're able to attach to the user interface? How much desirable? What is the accessibility? And what kind of value does the user interface provide to you? These are the 7 terms taken together which will form your UX. You know, some of us love to order our food on Zomato, and some of us love to order our food on Swiggy. Why? It's purely because some of us find Zomato user interface more friendly, more useful, more usable, easily findable, maybe more credible and more desirable, maybe more accessible and valuable as well. So the same thing applies to all user interfaces. So I'm sure some of you out there would love to book your taxi on Uber, and many others would love to book on Ola. If you ask me why, well, God has made every brain separate, and every brain falls in love with different kinds of UX. So when you're designing your UX to complement your customer experience, you have to ensure that your UX has all these features interspersed together. Friends, so that brings me towards an end. And I would just like to share some very interesting quotes from people who have made it big in the world of customer experience. So that's Michael Mancini, founder PPC Video Training, who says that treat your customers right. The customer is not always right. You just make them think they are. Well, that's very important, isn't it? Knowing fully well that the customer is not always right, your customer experience still makes them feel that they are. So that's very important. And coming up there is Mr. Pete Sena, co-founder Digital Surgeons, who says that how customers experience your brand throughout their journey is what lasts. Experiences happen long before and long after. Long before is the DX and long after is the UX. Customers swipe the card at the register or push the confirm purchase button. You need to delight, not discourage customers at every touch point. That's very important learning for us. You need to delight, not discourage customers at every touch point. So this, friends, towards the end of this session is total customer experience, and total customer experience for me is DX plus CX plus UX. So that's Sanjay Singh signing off. The big thank you. Please do remember to log in every Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the next episode of Sales Ki Pathshala. And please ensure that you can share this link with all your friends, because we talk about sales every Wednesday evening at 4 p.m. All those of you there who have questions to be answered on this topic today, please feel free to mail them to me on this email ID. And with a turnaround time of 24 hours, we will be answering them to you live. Thank you very much on that note, and take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.